So for people that don't know, how did you get into rap?
I got into rap just because I liked it when I heard it. It's as simple as that. It gets no deeper than that. I was for a wee rural bit that didn't have a scene, so it wasn't like I was looking up to the older generation who already did it, or my peers who did it. I was just a wee guy by myself who took a liking to it and started trying to rap and that, and through that I discovered there was an actual British scene, but the only rap I was exposed to was like American shit on the radio. And then through that I discovered UK hip hop. So that's what got me into it. Just I heard it one day and I fucking liked it. Like one of the first things I ever heard was Boom Shake the Room by Will Smith. That's what I'm saying. Like there was just the underground shit. But that was kind of looking back, that's like underground now. That would be like an underground banger if that came out now. But back in the day that was like the pop shit. But Boom Shake the Room by Fresh Prince. Fucking classic.
Because Ray Evans did ask who inspired you into hip hop to begin with.
Who inspired me? Well, it's not Will Smith, but like I've got a wee short list of MCs. Not necessarily that inspired me when I initially started. When I initially started, the MCs that primarily inspired me were Big L and Cannabis. Used to love Big L's punchlines where. Also, he was very good at multi-syllabic use back when not a lot of people used multi-syllabic rhyme schemes, and it was a combination of like saying shit that made you physically react because it was so clever or so funny or so whatever. And also Cannabis, because like Big L was kind of like the fucking ladies man punchline rapper, so everything was like a wee punchline, like I'm so cool this, you know what I mean? Whereas Cannabis was the battle rap punchline rapper. So like I like to think, you know, my influences on my style, at least when I started, was like, you know, Big L and Cannabis. And I also like Nas for real shit. And then a more modern MC, like there was a period where Royce the 5'9" was one of my favourite MCs, but that was like 10 years ago. I know he's like through Slaughterhouse and all that shit he's doing now, he's getting more of a buzz again, but I liked Royce the 5'9" like when he dropped his 1.5 version of his first album. Like his first album came out and kind of flopped, so he like done a sort of redux of that album a year later. That shit and the shit he done with Premiere and all that, I used to love him. And I used to like Ari the Rugged Man till he came to Glasgow and made a tit of himself. And that is what it is, like disrespected DJ Bunty on stage, made the whole crowd turn against him. There was literally 3 people outside saying they were going to stab him. This is true, and I was like, fuck that, let's just go back to this house party, and when we'll all go back, fuck this shit, we'll all go and have a laugh. So I don't know whether those guys were going to keep their word or not, but I may have saved that guy for getting a shanking. But that's what happens when you come to Glasgow, and like, unprofessional as fuck. I know I'm throwing shade on Rugged Man just now, but this is what he did. Showed up to Glasgow with no DJ, no instrumentals. Said I need a DJ. Bunty was more than happy to do it. He was like, I need you to download my beats. Bunty downloaded the beats. Was playing the beats in the order he downloaded them, and Rugged Man turned around on stage and gave him shit for playing them in his perceived fucking wrong order that he hadn't given him, where he's no DJ. And then fucking Bunty almost walked off stage, and then the crowd chanted his name, so he came back, and then like, I don't know, it was fucking awkward. It was weird as fuck. We Rab being MCs is like the biggest Rugged Man fan, and there's just this famous photo of like when Rugged Man tried to walk through the crowd, Wee Rab's like grabbing him by both shoulders and just giving him the most heartbroken stare in the face, like, what the fuck, man? Like, he's his biggest fan, he just made an enemy of himself in one day. So, and see shit like that, I'm one of these people that like, I can't even listen to a cunt if it's, you know, if it's some personal shit. And while it's not personal, I take it personal that so many people I'm cool with were personally disrespected. So it is personal in that regard. So unfortunately, I used to have a top 5, but now it's a top 4. So Big L, Cannabis, Nas, early Royce the 5'9". Although, right, Cannabis and Nas though, yeah, they've got 10 ears, they're sick rhymers, but I think they've got like a 50-50 choice of beats, man. Every Nas album, I just want the acapellas.
Well, what you were talking about at the beginning there, right? We also spoke to you, Respek more delivery or wordplay.
Delivery or?
Wordplay.
Wordplay. You can't really have one without the other. I suppose if you were to have one without the other, it would be delivery. Because a lot of people can get away with saying a lot of whack shit with a good delivery. But I think if you had the dopest lyrics ever and your delivery was proper shite, just don't think people would listen to you. So I suppose if it was one of the two, having a good delivery. But to me, it's all about lyricism. Like, I'm an MC, so having good delivery is an expected part of my profession. The thing that sets MCs apart is what they're actually capable of, you know. And delivery wise, obviously there's certain guys that are better than others, but as long as you have developed the confidence in yourself to know what delivery suits you and shit, then I think it's all about what's after that, like flow, lyricism, all that shit, writing ability. So me personally, I'm all about the lyricism, but that's because, like, I don't even think about delivery. That's just an expected part of it. It's what you do, innit? Yeah. Well, I've got a different delivery on tracks to when I battle, but that's all like premeditated. Just depends on what you think you're working with. I like to proper command a room in a battle, and you have to use a different cadence to command the room, especially when you're not mic'd. Like the last battle I done with Bonnie Godiva was no mics, Sirius Jones was mini mics, Tony D was no mics, and I'm perfectly comfortable in a pit battle, they call them. That's like just when there's no stage and you're both in the pit and then there's a crowd around you. I'm completely confident in that thing because I know I can project my fucking voice and everyone in the room will hear me, and if the other MC doesn't have a bold delivery, they'll just get fucking drowned out, like, you know, from a basic fundamental level of who's more confident in their delivery.
Have you ever laced any tracks, and if so, who?
Have I ever laced any tracks? What, made a track? Or you mean collaborated?
Aye, collaborated.
Oh, right.
Who's your collabs with?
Oh, fuck. So many people. When I first started, there was obviously Criminal Records, which was Big Div, Loki, Mac G and myself. We did a lot of collaborations at the same time, obviously, the being developed, and there's a bazillion collaborations between the being. There must be like 100 albums between each member of the being combined, I would say. Like Loki and Gas combined is like 30. They've got fucking loads, so yeah, we've got so much music for everyone to dig in deep into and all that. And then collaborated with Blade and Life MC from Firelight Cypher on Blade's 12-inch vinyl. It was Reflections on the A side, and we were the double A side. But the track with me, Blade and Life, was the one that got spun on the radio and shit, so that was cool because I always looked up to Life as well from Firelight Cypher, and obviously, you know, I got into British hip hop by listening to Mark B and Blade and shit like that. So that was cool to even have the job with Blade anyway, let alone end up being on a vinyl single with him and Life. So there was that, and then my first album I collaborated with Sonny Jim, who's an excellent MC, a guy I'm cool with from Birmingham. Collaborated with Awkwards, who's an excellent battle MC and a guy I'm cool with from California. A guy called What's His Face is one of my best friends and an excellent battle MC that I'm cool with from London. And Rhyme Asylum, who obviously possessed an excellent battle rapper, and the whole crew had sick lyricism, and I was good personal friends with all them as well. So I don't think I'm forgetting anyone. Sonny Jim, What's His Face, Rhyme Asylum.
Last year's collab.
Oh no, I'm talking about this album, not forgetting no one, don't worry. I'm going through this shit sequentially, yeah. So yeah, and then Wasteland of the Free had no collaborations on it. My new album has no collaborations on it, and I also did the song War on Freedom Frequency. We're at War. It's either We're at War or War. What is it? It's neither, is it? What's it called?
Oh, you're asking.
Yeah, don't give me I make the tracks.
You made it.
Aye, I didn't even memorise it. That's all I know is there's a sick track, right? I could say the whole chorus. But is it? I see, I don't even know. I just assumed it was called We're at War.
Just because that's the line.
Alright. And when I listened to the full album, I wasn't looking at the track titles, I just had it queued up, do you know what I mean?
What drives you to battle? We spoke about this.
My competitiveness, and also I genuinely just think I'm actually one of the best battle MCs in the world, which sounds arrogant as fuck, but there's no other way I can say it. Like, maybe, and you know what? At least I'm self-aware to know that I might not be right. I'm not like so up my own arse that I think that's an infallible statement. That's my statement. I'm entitled to that statement. I know other people won't have the same opinion. I know it's not a universal opinion, but in my mind, I think on my day, it's super, super hard to fucking beat me in that arena. So I battle because I feel like a lot of people were underestimating what I was capable of, and also forgetting what I had previously done. Like, that shit didn't matter. Like, oh, battle rap's evolved now. They were good as the building blocks of battle rap, but nowadays they'd all get crunched, and it's just so far from the truth. And if anything, that shows their lack of self-awareness. So I wanted to get back and show them what really is happening. And in any era, I will always be able to compete with the only people that will give me trouble is like the top people in any era. Whether I come back again and I'm 60. If you can say a line, here's the way I looked at it, which a lot of people don't see. If you can say a line, right, that if it didn't have no rhyme in front of it and you said it in a comedy club and it would crease the whole room in a comedy club, you can't really evolve past that in getting a crowd reaction. You can only do a different style which gets a similar reaction. You can't kill a room twice, do you know what I mean? So if your line kills the room, then in any era it kills the room. So with that logic, when I came back to battling, even some of my close friends were like, oh, battling's changed, you have to write like this and say that, and I was like, fuck yous, I'm falling on my sword, I'm using my style, because I had faith in my style. And I had faith in what I was capable of, and I like to think thus far I've proved it and reaffirmed what I believed in myself anyway. So I'm back, basically, long story short, I battle because I'm a competitive, arrogant cunt. Like to put it in a soundbite.
Because Mark McGee asked, what's been your favourite battle to perform?
Fuck. I actually don't have a single one, mate. It's a good question. Most people would probably have one. I don't, man, because it's like, don't know. This shit's serious to me. Until the day I stop doing it, I can't look at it any other way. Like, I don't know. I'm not ready to dwell on what I've done yet. But one day when I stop doing it, it'll be cool to look back at it all subjectively and show my fellow MCs the respect they actually deserve. Because just now I'm just like, I'm in such a different mentality. It's like, I don't know. This isn't the best time to interview me with questions like this because I'll only ever come across bad because I'm still competing. And while I'm competing, my mindset is like, fuck everyone else. Because I feel like when I wasn't competing, everyone else was like, fuck me. So, fuck yous all back. I'm back. Right.
I asked you this, it was Gino that asked this earlier. When you're battling, do you think it's better judging or crowd judging?
Both are flawed systems. A crowd can be on the piss, a crowd can be not taking it serious, a crowd can be trying to get attention on themselves. There's a million ways that like a crowd could be seen as like a low IQ pack mentality thing, and if you've done enough shows it's like easy to control that. So I think most MCs should be able to win over a crowd. But again, chosen judges, sometimes you'll get a guy that's like done one warm-up battle or been first on a card, and then they'll ask him to judge the main event. And it's like, no offence, I know he likes battling, I know he's done a battle, but does he really fucking know? If he really knew what was best, he wouldn't be doing the opening battle. He would be in the main fucking event. Like, so some of the rappers, like personally, I don't want to pick out things, but the last two battles I lost with judges' decisions was like, I don't know, some of them judges had their heads right up their arses. So, and like I usually do well in crowd battles, so you would think someone like me would say crowd all day, but both are flawed. And then the other alternative is you get the people who are involved in the actual company judging, which never works well because then it all becomes like they could possibly be making their decisions due to business choices. So I don't know, I mean the best case scenario for me would be like 5 judges who are completely neutral and all know what they're talking about on the highest level. And when I say on the highest level, it's because like you develop a skill set over time. Most guys coming into it will have a style they like and they'll rhyme like the style they like, and they won't understand the pros and cons of all the different styles, and just if it's like one guy that battles using the style they like, they'll always vote for that guy. So it's like it doesn't even matter what you say. Whereas I think the high level battle rappers would be able to understand, yeah, this is two different styles at play here, but what's truly beating what tonight? Yeah, so I mean, and also I was saying like the other best solution to that is just gather the maximum amount of individual opinions possible and smash them all together and use an algorithm to dictate the winner, which is kind of what they do nowadays because it goes to a YouTube vote, so it's up to the people to decide. Yeah.
Right, BD put in a few things here, right? Despite the growth in attention for battles, the artists within struggle to translate YouTube views into progression with their musical careers. And why do you think that is?
Well, how many Scottish rappers have ever made a living through their musical careers? Nine. So I don't think it's anything to do with like, oh, you do battles and then you put out an album and then you expect that to automatically translate into money generated. It's just not like that. To actually make a career through your music, I'm lucky enough to be in a fortunate position where I can charge a decent fee for me to battle. So for example, if I was really just all about money, I could maybe take one battle every 2 months, and that would be probably me, and I would be cool with a job. But I wouldn't even want a battle every 2 months, and at that point it wouldn't be fun anymore because you're like, oh, I need to take another battle in 2 months to make that fucking money. So like, for instance, so if you build your name up big enough in battle rap, there is nowadays the money involved in it at the higher levels to potentially make a living off of that. But as for your music, it's just fucking proper hard. I mean, unless you're lucky enough to go viral or some other weird shit happens or you know the right people, then yeah, it's just impossible. Like, see me personally, mate, I don't even think like that anymore. Years and years and years ago, I kicked all that out of my head. I decided even if I was the last person alive in a cave by myself, I would still draw on the fucking wall. You have to have that mentality toward art. Because nothing else is promised. There is no like that, and that's another reason why I'm proper infatuated with martial arts. And I think a lot of artists would be, you know why? Because see, in that profession, as long as you keep winning, you will end up being a millionaire. If you're a mixed martial artist or a boxer, as long as you fucking stay doing good, you will end up with all the money you deserve. That is not true of music. It's just not. You could, and like I say, anytime you start to think selfishly, or woe me, why am I making what I deserve? Just spare a thought. Like I said, back when the Sistine Chapel was painted, I bet there was 1,000 painters better than the guy that painted it, who just didn't know the right people or never got the right commission. So they just died with all their art in their little hut, and then it just got buried and degraded, and nobody wanted it or valued it, and it's gone forever. We are fortunate enough to be artists that even if we never make money from this, if all this is about to you is art and being that caveman drawn on that fucking wall, then we've already won, because we have YouTube and shit nowadays and all of that, and that immortalizes you. So even if you never make money, just fucking take comfort in the fact that at least you're an artist that won't like just be forgotten about like that. As long as you leave a fucking carbon footprint in your music career, people will find it long after you stop nowadays, which is something that artists 1,000 years ago didn't have the privilege of having. So you have to remember that even though none of us are making proper money out here, I still feel privileged that I can reach so many people instantaneously, and like I always get respect when I go out to hip hop nights and that. It's a fucking cool thing, man. But never expect anything more than that either, because none of that shit's promised in art. I could imagine people that proper think in their head, oh, I need to make money from this needs to be my career. I could imagine those people slowly going insane. Like, imagine if you still haven't done it by 40 and then 50, then what? Then you'd just be like, fuck, I deserved all this, and you know, you've just let go of that entitlement. We don't deserve nothing, and people 1,000 years ago got way less. So we're all privileged, it's all good. But as for money, fuck it, man. Take that creative writing and think, what is the biggest field? This is what I've been doing, right? So I'm like, okay, one of my skills in life is obviously creative writing. How can, as I get older, channel that into something that I don't do it just for the art of it. I still want it to be good, but like when I write stories, I'm not writing stories just for the art of it. I'm thinking everybody likes a fucking book. If I can write something that everybody will like, maybe I could make some money through my creative writing. I always think like that when I'm writing stories. I never think like that when it comes to hip hop, because I do that for the simple reason of it's what I want to do. So yeah, that's what I would advise. I would advise, if you honestly think you're a good writer, bro, don't look for that money here, because it's not promised. Nor is it promised in like story writing. But first of all, story writing is not a niche thing. Battle rap, British or Scottish battle rap, is such a niche thing. Even if you make the sickest tracks, it just won't resonate. People will be like, oh, the accents are strong, or, you know, people just think of fucking reasons out their arse to give it shit. So if I was you, I would take that creative writing and think, what other avenues can I take what I've got and put it into that maybe can make money? So I can do this art shit and I love it and I love doing it, but I'm not expecting anything from it. It's just, I'm just doing it because I like it. So like, try creative writing. Maybe you think you're funny, try writing stand-up for people. Maybe you don't think you've got the disposition to be a stand-up comic yourself. Go down comedy clubs and ask if anybody's looking for a ghostwriter. Ghostwrite songs for other people you think might be commercially successful. Write stories. Just write anything. Use that skill you've got and put it into channels that could make money. Because like I said, name one Scottish guy that ever has. No one yet. Not to say you can't be the first, mate, but fucking history would dictate that it's going to be pretty difficult. So yeah.
Where do you think, if any, is the boundaries now in battle rap?
In what way, boundaries?
Things that you don't...
Alright, I mean, there's a line, and as I get older, I wouldn't stand for any of that shit either, like, you know, dead family, proper personal shit. Like, see, if you watch any of my battles, I might reference someone's children or girlfriend, but I'm never bringing up a factual thing that I've heard about their children or girlfriend. It's just simply a placeholder for the joke that's about to come about that subject matter. I would never, like, I don't know, see, personally, me, like, it's just the fact that some people have, like, ripped other people's dead family is mind-boggling to me. And I would pray that, like, no one had ever mentioned one of my dead relatives in a battle, because, like, the battle would be over and it wouldn't look cool, because I'd smashed the fucking cameras as well after we fought. Like, you know, it just would ruin the battle. So I don't know. To me, you shouldn't even be, if you're ever thinking about, oh, is this too far over the line? Maybe you're thinking more about, like, getting a harsh reaction for the sake of it, rather than, like, remembering this is a game of skill. Like, you can always outskill someone. Essentially, if you're good enough, you could use the subject matter of a tin of paint and write 3 rounds about how this guy is like a tin of paint, and have a punchline every line and win the battle, if you are a good enough writer. So never think, you know, how far do I need to go to proper hurt this guy or whatever. Just fucking pick some target points, get some dope shit about it, you know. I mean, I don't look into the subject matter too deep. I just pick. And the other thing is, obviously, if something's publicly known, but still I'm not cool with it if it's dead relatives. Like, obviously everybody knew Loki's mother had passed away when Loki started battling. Now, it's cool for Mr. Jinx to do it, because Loki and Jinx had an agreement before their battles, but see, for the people that, like, I've mentioned that to Loki outside of those 2 battles, it's completely over the line for me. It's stuff like that's completely over the line. Aye, so yeah, I think the line goes there, or like straight up racism. And there's a difference between making a race related joke and a racist joke. Jokes can only ever come from a good or a bad place. If you can tell someone's saying it with a good heart and they're not a racist, then it's not a racist joke, it's a race joke. But if you're treading into that subject matter, then you have to take the bullet. Like, if the shit doesn't work, do you know what I mean? If you want to take it to these subjects you already know are touchy, then it's completely on your head if your material just doesn't fly with that crowd, or your opponent chooses to take it personally. So, as well, I mean, if you want to be one of them rappers that goes near the line, you better be ready to fucking defend yourself when people think you cross it. So, yeah, me personally, I don't need to worry about that shit, because I've got so much faith in my skill. I just pick a few things out and I just sit with them, and I usually get good shit. So
When you were battling Bonnie, because obviously she's female.
Yeah.
It's the first time you battled a female.
Yeah.
Was there anything that you thought was off limits? Did you prepare for it any different?
Well, see, some people would think the things I say to Bonnie is off limits, but I would classify them people as extremist feminists. I don't think anybody who's a rationally minded person would ever hear me talking and think that guy is a sexist misogynist, because I'm not. But obviously I was sexist. I used sexist and misogynistic jokes against Bonnie, but it's just because I treat this the same way as an insult comic would. And if you cunts think an insult comic wouldn't use a woman, the fact that a woman is female, in order to insult her, then you need to watch more comedy. I just worry if we start policing too many subjects. Not that some subjects with historical connotations, like, keep in mind, you know, there's no female ghettos, there's no female estates. Like, racism is justified to be over the line because it has historical atrocities linked to it, which still affect modern people who are relatives of those atrocities, because it systematically pigeonholed people into project buildings and shit like that. Whereas in the UK, it's like more multicultural in the working class. In America, the working class isn't so multicultural, and even when they are, it's like the rednecks are on fucking caravan sites and the black folk are in projects. Do you know what I mean? So it's all separated like that. So aye, you gotta be careful when you're touching on subjects, and I think racism, straight up racism, is justifiably over the line because of the history involved with it. And would I say that translates to all races? Probably not. And you might say that's hypocritical because you have to treat everything in the same light. I disagree. I think the weight of a subject is dictated by what it's previously been through. So I would feel more comfortable, for example, if I was battling the Saurus, making Greek jokes or whatever, you know, like nationality jokes and shit like that, rather than just being like, you are a different colour than me, you know, and because that's just not how I would do it. So you got to be careful with that shit, but you know, the moral of that is whatever you say, just be ready. If you want to take it there, but and nowadays you can get away with it a lot more, but if you do come up against a real guy, like, they won't stand for it. It's too far. One of the most shocking things I ever seen was like when Shotty Holler battled Arsenal, and Arsenal had that whole round about his fucking uncle. Like, that would have been the battle over for me. I kind of understand why Shotty never done it, because it was like a massive main event. Like, it's got 10 million views on YouTube. You know what I mean? It's a huge battle. Having said that, yeah, that's too far for me. Stuff like that. I don't think you should ever need to take it there. If you take it there, I don't know, you're not winning by skill anymore. You're winning just by being a fucking piece of shit human being. Like,
GBHS, what do you think of the format of Premier Battle League?
Well, obviously it's like trying to follow in the ilk of like the WWE network and the UFC Fight Pass, where it's digitising, making everything a single subscription, like Netflix or like fucking Xbox Gold. Everyone's thinking this is the future, just to have these digital libraries and charging people a monthly fee. So I think it's a good look. But having said that, I think maybe what I would have done, the only thing I would have done different is like done it for 2 years without that, build up that viewership on YouTube, and have a back catalogue that's worth paying monthly for. Because I'm assuming, like, when they first started up the subscription thing, they probably maybe had, like, I don't know, not even 50 battles or something. Me personally, I wouldn't subscribe to a service that didn't offer that much content. But in a couple years' time, especially like every month that goes past, their subscriptions will be more worth it because they have more events and add more battles to the library. So it's a good idea. Like, it's innovative in a realm where everyone just looks at the don't flop structure and goes, oh, I know what we'll do. We'll start a battle league and we'll do it just like don't flop. I'm a fucking genius. So at least Premier battles are like, no, let's do it a different way. And on top of that, they're pulling the best crowds just now. Like, the best crowds for battle rap appear to be in Manchester because they have fucking packed out nice rooms. Most of the battles I've seen on Premier Battles, so it's better than like London crowds and shit just now. So yeah, good on them.
He also asks, where you see yourself in 5 years in both music and battle rap?
I don't fucking care. I actually don't give a shit. Don't care where I see
Still
my...
people you want to battle?
Oh yeah, there's loads of Americans I'd love to battle, but nowadays it's just like, I don't know. I have to stop at some point, but I'm always happy to put a little... Go for another scalp if if I deem it a fucking good wee scalp, but... I really don't give a fuck. Just as long as people don't forget this time, don't forget again and make me have to come back again. Because I thought I'd done all my work in like 2005. I was like, nice, I've helped build the scene over here, made my name. And then the 2 generations removed and yous all think you're fucking evolved wee Pokemon. And I'm some fucking caveman out here, for fuck's sake, you lot. So please, all I ask is, when I do stop, 10 years from then, please just don't stop name checking me and piss off a 50-year-old BA legs. Fucking hell.
Return of the 850.
I know, like George Foreman. And then I'll go sell grills, and find out that's where the money is.
Danny asked something about the decline in 2011. How do you think Scottish battle rap declined after 2011? Is that just because you stopped?
No, I'd stopped before that. Decline of Scottish battle rap. Hey, what is that due to?
How could it have escaped the decline in attention post 2011 and why it happened?
Well, first of all, there stopped being as many English opponents getting invited up for battles. And you have to, if you want to legitimise yourself and be seen from a like fan base outside of just your city or Scotland, like, you have to get some decent names up on your cards, do you know what I mean? Badmouth was doing that. Badmouth was getting people on the cards that were decent from England and shit. Iron Bars has obviously done it as well. They've had Bobby Rex and stuff, but it's also about a level of consistency. And on top of that, what you're seeing isn't a decline in battle rap, you're seeing a decline in a specific type of hip hop scene. And I think that's been going on for a larger period of time. Partially due to, like, see, when I first got into Scottish hip hop, it was mad fucking clicky, and cliques hated each other. Cunts hated each other all over the guy. Fuck them, fuck these guys, fuck those guys. So you just stuck to your wee clique, and that's how it kind of was when I first got into Scottish hip hop. But over the years, everyone chilled out, and it felt like it was becoming more communal. And that's when the crowds are always at the best, when it's communal. But then one promoter doesn't like another promoter putting a night on that night, so it's like, oh, fuck them cunts, and they tell all their mates on Facebook, here, fuck their night, don't go to their night. And then this other crew are like, oh, we're cool with this promoter, fuck your night. And then what do you get? You get a splintered fan base, and everybody's night's got a low turnout. So that is what it is. I mean, I could have seen that coming. So it's the same thing I predict to happen in battle rap if all these leagues keep being about the leagues. It's not about the leagues, it's about the MCs, and it's about the fans. It's about the connection between the fans and the MCs. It's about the fans enjoying what the MCs do. The leagues are just there to facilitate the performances of the MCs. So if these leagues keep being like, fuck that league, it's all about this league, you're splintering your fan base, and the same thing will happen. Fan bases will decline for every show because it's all clicky. So you didn't want your shit to be clicky, man. Go out there and have a good night. Talk to cunts you wouldn't normally talk to that are in a different crew that you don't know. And that communal vibe is what I think has died out again in Scottish hip hop, and I would love to see that return. If that returns, you'll see me out at every event again, you know what I mean? I don't really go out no more. But back in the day when it was so communal, you felt like you were missing out on a fucking family gathering if you didn't go to these things every week, like. And I'm sure it still feels like that for some people. Perhaps it's just my own personal experience, but it just feels like it's went back to being mad clicky, and that's just not enjoyable to me as I get older. It's like, fucking chill out, everyone, man. We're all cool. Support their night, support everyone's night. But it's kind of crabs in a crate up here, innit? You know the crabs in the crate philosophy? You know it? Right? They never put a lid on a crate of crabs, because whenever one crab tries to climb out the crate, the other crabs pull it back in. Crabs in a crate, right? There you go. So it's kind of like that. No one wants to see the next person doing that.
Well, that was it, because when they put on the night for Limerick, which started fast last year, everybody came out for that, even folk that didn't go on with each other, and it felt like what the nights used to.
Aye.
You know what I mean? Classic Grand was packed out, and I get that, like, everything's kind of splintered now. Even the other night, Alana had the King Tut's gig where it was bringing beat boys and graffiti and hip hop all together again. It felt more like what nights used to feel like.
Aye, that's cool.
All the being are killing what they're doing right now. Is there any chance that you find the time to get together?
Look,
Do a project together?
you know what? I would have loved to look back on my hip hop career just now and have like 10 being albums along with my solo stuff. The problem is, we were all actually fucking best of mates. We hung about every day. My name's Respek BA, a heavyweight, right? Was on a wee tangent there. I had to keep it going. Even when we hung about all the time, we never. I don't know whether it was the team cohesion or we were just having too much fun, but we always seemed to have time to do tracks. We were always because it was so spontaneous. We never were like coming round tonight to do a track. Like that happened way less than coming round tonight. Yeah, cool. And then 2 hours into chilling, I'll put some beats. Oh, what's that? Let's all write to that. Fucking turn the mic on. Almost all the being collaborations you hear on YouTube and all that come from that sort of environment. There was like 4 of us all living in the same place at the time, and everyone just used to pile round, and that was the HQ. And see, when you've got all sick MCs in that environment, just tunes pop out of nowhere. But like we discussed it a few times, and for some reason, whether it's all us, whether we are all too unprofessional for it, including myself, or whether we were all just having too much fun as pals, I mean, it just never happened. But my point is, getting it to happen now is going to be fucking way harder, right? So like, if someone out there wants to fund it and get all this you want to drag Darren off the Edinburgh Fringe stage and put him in a shitty wee recording studio in Govan for a few hours a week again, I'll be there, right? But I just think he's quite happy no doing that. Nah, I'm sure he'd be 100% up for it. That's bullshit. But it's just everyone's away. You know, Ross is up in Dingwall, Marek and Scribble are down in London. The whole crew's scattered, and then on top of that, everyone's got responsibilities now, and everyone's on their own shit. You know, Gasper's living abroad for a wee bit. Loki's got children. Aye, so everyone's got responsibilities, lives. You know, it's like growing up. Shit just fucking gets in the way. I'm trying desperately to not let shit get in the way yet. I've dodged the child bullet. 34, no kids, so I've still got more time than a lot of my peers who have got kids at this age, obviously. So I'm thankful for that, but aye, long story short, man, it's just fucking, it's going to be hard to get us all in the same place. And that is how it has to happen as well. See if it comes to a point where we miserably have to start sending digital MP3 files back and forth to fucking have some engineer drag onto the track so we've got new collabs, and that's not how being collaborations ever happened, let alone how a being album should happen. A being album should be us put in a room for 2 months. Certain members of us plied with alcohol, other members of us plied with weed. Fucking stir that big pot, and that'll be a sick album. Yeah, so, you know, but that's the only way it will happen. I just don't know if it'll fucking happen anymore. But I'm still like, every track we've done is almost like a memory. People don't know that. People just hear the music and they're like, sick. But I remember when me and Gasp wrote Spectator Sport for my album, we'd already stayed up to 4 a.m. before we even entertained the 40th. By 4:30 we were writing. By 5:30 we recorded the tune. By like 6:30 in the morning I'd done a rough mix. Then at 7 a.m. we sat satisfied, played it fucking once, and then finally crashed out. Like, there's so many nights where so many of the tunes you lot hear and enjoy come for that situation. It's a fucking cool thing. But as much as I would like it to be just like it was then, and all of my crew so easily accessible and I could catch up with them all every night, it's just unfortunately not like that anymore, so it would be incredibly hard to get an album done nowadays. But ears open, never say never. I'm up for it.
Okay. Now, so who do you think would battle next?
That's undetermined as of yet. Obviously, me and Soul have to battle at some point. It's the battle everybody wants to see. So that's definitely going to go down, something I want to do. Soul's also talking about not wanting to do too many battles, so it has to be sooner rather than later. Having said that, that's going to happen sometime next year, and as we speak it's August, and I'm looking for something like November, December-ish. It's just a nice wee break between my last battle and that one. I do a lot of writing, as I was saying. I like writing stories and all that now, so I do a lot of writing outside of it, and I also might be writing another album soon. So I need to keep my plate clean in case I get more beats from my boy Character, who I just did the new album with. We're going to do another album, hopefully. And I also have a lot of time for writing stories and shit like that, and the other responsibilities in my life, such as like I have a part-time job and all that. So yeah, fuck knows.
And last question, right? Just because most people have asked that, I've already asked you, when's the album going to be out?
The album is going to be out roughly sometime within the next 3 months. That's my word. I'm sticking to it. And if that doesn't happen, it is not my fault. But aye, within the next 3 months, there's going to be at least 2 more videos from it as well, if not 3. I'm hoping to at least do like 8, to be honest. That's the game plan. Game plan is to do like 8 videos, and then like make a little hour documentary, like with little 2-3 minute things, or maybe live footage or ciphers or anything in between the tracks, and then have a wee nice. Remember when you used to go into like HMV and bands used to do them? Like you could buy a band's 2005 tour DVD, and it'd be the music videos and all that shit. Yeah, but it was my boy Theo, Chef Spendables, who gave me that idea to do that. So I'm thinking maybe that. But I don't have the financial resources to get 8 videos, so this is like me in my head already constructing a blag. Like, you know, I'm pulling in the favours. I can't pull in too many more. I reckon I could maybe get Theo to do me 1 more. Shout outs to Andrew McKenzie, he's doing me 2. Theo's already done me 2. Anybody else out there that reckons they're good at doing videos and love not getting paid, hit me up.
Thank you, BA.